Good afternoon, I'm Malcolm Jordan and this is your Midday News Fix for Monday, the 11th of May. Peace talks remain at an impasse, with Donald Trump calling Iran's response to a US proposal totally unacceptable. Little public information's been released about the 14-point memorandum itself and the Iranian response, which was delivered via Pakistani mediators. Trump's said to have drawn a red line to Iran's nuclear ambitions and is seeking to restore the flow of traffic in the Strait of Hormuz. Nicola Willis says she isn't annoyed with Winston Peters for leaking a budget detail. Peters told Newstalk ZB the final fee-free year for university students will end, calling it himself a budget leak. The finance minister confirmed the news on Friday, but Willis told TVNZ there's no bad blood.
I completely understand. This is an issue that we've been in discussions with New Zealand First about for some time, and ultimately they've decided that there is a better use for that funding.
And the Prime Minister says it will mean some savings, but money will also be reallocated to things like trades training. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister says we're victims of our Golden Visa Scheme's success. It's drawn in $1.4 billion in its first year, mostly going to managed funds. Questions have been raised by businesses concerned they haven't been invited to the many Invest NZ networking events in the past year. Chris Luxon says the visa helps the start-up community invest in capital, letting them scale up or find new markets.
We're going to have to look at maybe broadening out the asset classes because there's actually so much money coming into some of those sectors.
A government agency was advised more flexible working from home rules would not make a significant difference in costs. Senior political reporter Azaria Howell has the story.
The Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment, MB, sought advice from the Public Service Commission in late March in response to price spikes. A PSC spokesperson says there's no reason to change working from home settings, and it's unlikely to ease supply or reduce prices and would be hard to justify.
A former National Party leader isn't convinced the next election's outcome is as sure as suggested by a new poll. The New Zealand Herald Motu Research poll of polls puts the probability of the coalition winning a second term at 88.3%. Simon Bridges says the results are modelled off polls going back to 2014, which shouldn't be relevant. He says despite what Winston Peters may say, there aren't two concrete political blocs.
New Zealand First is a swing party, and I don't think we can ignore that actually on the trend, there's a two-party option for them as well.
Middle East tensions are adding to a housing market downturn, with prices falling in many areas. Economist Tony Alexander's latest real estate agency survey reveals a net 44% say house prices are dropping. He told Mike Hosking things were starting to change before the war kicked off because of rising mortgage rates. To sport, Shane van Gisbergen's underlined his NASCAR street racing dominance after victory at Watkins Glen in upstate New York. All 7 of his wins have come in that format. The proposed launch of the privately backed NZ20 cricket competition will be pushed back a year. The Super Smash is expected to continue in the interim. And West Ham captain Jared Bowen has questioned VAR inconsistencies after a goal was disallowed in their 1-0 Premier League football defeat to Arsenal due to goalkeeper interference. They subsequently remain in the relegation zone. I'm Malcolm Jordan. That's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at 5 p.m. from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.